Hello and welcome to another video or episode, depending on whether you are watching or listening to this. So today we have finally reached the end of our series on Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and looking at it through the lens of forest school, outdoor instruction and general business. So we covered 6 habits so far, so we are now on the 7th. The 7th is sharpen the saw. So the first 3 habits we're dealing with very much with ourselves. So whenever you want to affect change, you have to start first with yourself, because really, honestly, you are the only person that you have full control over. Everyone else you can just influence. If you can control them, it's probably not a good thing that you do. So when we're looking at it, when we're talking about intrapersonal, we're talking about inside ourselves, the things that we can change first. Once we change ourselves, often the environment around us changes as well. Then we moved on to the second set of 3, which is all about the interpersonal habits, the things that we can do to build good, mutually beneficial, synergistic relationships and really gain an understanding of people's behavior and an empathy towards them. Then binding it all together is the 7th habit, which is sharpen the saw. This is where you realize that actually the most important person in any business and relationship is you. As I said a moment ago, you have the ability to affect change by changing yourself, by building positive relationships. But you're only able to do that if you have the headspace and the ability and basically the energy to do it. And that's why sometimes staying on the treadmill and just trying to run faster doesn't actually get us further. Sometimes we need to step back and we need to look at ourselves as the most productive unit in this. So when Stephen Covey's talking about it, he's talking about that we are the means of production. In any business that we run as forest school leaders, as outdoor instructors, we are going to be the most important people in that system. We're going to be critical. Unless you've surrounded yourself with amazing people who are so much better than they can function without you, you are important. And the ability to keep the business running is going to depend on whether you can bring your best self, your best energy, your best knowledge. So sharpening the saw is all about the whole thing. That's the saying that's attributed to Abraham Lincoln. I don't know whether it's true or not, where he said, if I've given 6 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend the first 5 sharpening the axe. It's preparing yourself to the utmost, preparing yourself mentally, physically and spiritually to be able to give your best self to the rest of the world. And in the book, Stephen Covey describes one of the ways to do that is the victory hour. And this is something I think that's also been picked up by the book, the 5 a.m. Club. And that's all about setting yourself, it's all about essentially a morning routine. It's getting up an hour earlier than you normally would, an hour earlier than other people, and going out there, getting up and going through a certain number of different activities that will set you up for the day and set you up for success. And in the primary areas, which is your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and your emotional or social health. So for me, I've been practicing it for a long time, that I get up at 5 o'clock every morning and have breakfast, but then I will do a bit of reading. So that's improving my mental health. That's also improving my ability to go forward in business, because it'll be non-fiction reading, it'll be Like this morning, I was reading a book on investment. The week before, I was reading on counseling skills. This is a chance to improve your mind. I'll do a bit of meditation, improving my spiritual and mental health. I'll have a look at the tasks for the day, getting that vision in. I will do some exercise. So I'll either do some yoga or rope flow or some strength exercise, or just go out for a walk, go for a run. Anything just to move my body and get me started for the day. This is something that I try and do every day. Some days where it doesn't work, where I need to be, say, on the other side of the county by 7, 8 in the morning, like today. I had to get up really early and I had to just go, throw the stuff in the van and leave. But these are the things that set us up for the day. Because I've said before, we are very high risk for burnout because we believe and enjoy what we're doing. So taking a break, we almost feel guilty about that. And we're also often running our own businesses, and there's no such thing as complete when you are in a business. There's always more tweaks you can do, always more work you can put in, and you've got to put in limits there. Because if you don't put in limits, then you can't give your best self, you can't be your best self, you can't help the people that depend on you the most. You need to look after yourself first, and it's not selfish to say that. You need to look after yourself, take time for your mental, physical, emotional and spiritual health, so that you can change the world, so that you can change people's lives. It's only when we are really at our best that we can be the most transformative. And that's where all of it binds together. So we start with vision in the first three, so defining our vision, creating mission statements, prioritizing our lives. Then we move on to how can we design collaborative and synergistic relationships? How can we reach greater levels of understanding before we seek to preach? And then we go through the whole process again. We step back and we say, okay, am I just putting effort? Am I just flailing my legs in the right direction, hoping I'll succeed? Or am I actually moving things forward bit by bit? Am I moving in the right direction? Have I got everything that I need, all of the skills I need to develop? Because there might be skills down the road that I need over there, and now is the time to start developing those. That's where I'm at with the therapeutic course. I'm recognizing that I'm going to need a different skill set. I'm going to need an additional skill set a year, 2 years down the line. So now's the time to go and get that training, to begin building it, so that when I need it and depend on it, it's building this YouTube channel and this podcast that I'm putting time in now, because I know I may well need it in the future. So it's always about looking ahead. It's about stepping back, going through the whole process, looking at your relationships, going, am I actually bringing my best self into every relationship in my life, or am I just doing it for the sake of doing it? So there we go. I've gone long for this, but I hope this series has inspired you. I really do recommend picking up the book. It is fantastic, and it's no exaggeration to say it's changed my life. There are a number of books that have absolutely shifted the way I think and led to positive changes. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember to make the most of every day, and I'll see you next time.